So we're asking the question, how can we better deal with technology, set up some good boundary conditions, and we're going to our cognitive triad. And we're going to start with ways that we can change how we think about technology. And I think this one is the most important. These are changes to how we think about technology and helping our kids understand that they might need to rethink these things too. And I think a big way that we need to think differently is that we need to start better recognizing all the things we're missing out on in real life from our technology. These things are often blind to us a little bit. We don't notice how much attention we're not deploying to the world around us or the people around us when we're on these devices. But when you look at the studies, I think they tell us something really important. We talked a little while ago about this study by Ward and colleagues that just a phone sitting here when it's not making any noise is actually stealing your attention away from the point that you can't actually do as well on a memory test or even an IQ test. You do worse just having it around. I think we need to recognize the power of results like these and ask ourselves the question, is that cost worth it, right? Do we need to rethink what we're kind of using our technology for and how it's affecting us in real life? Beyond that, I think we need to recognize that our technology might be affecting our social enjoyment too, right? How many of us have done something like this where we put our cell phones like on the desk and we think we're not using it, right? Maybe we really need to rethink whether they come with us at all so that they're even further away. But I think beyond that, we need to think about how our devices might be interacting with the other good stuff in life. Because if it's really stealing our attention, it's not just how we perform on a memory test and so on. These devices might actually be stealing the kind of basic enjoyment we get out of some of the best activities. And here are studies that I share with my Yale students too. What happens when you get a little dingy notification on your phone when you're doing some otherwise enjoying activity? We assume it's not messing with us, but it's messing with us a lot. This one study by Isigman and colleagues did this in a really cute way. They put people in these sort of enjoyable situations and then had either a cell phone ding or not, and then looked at what happened to enjoyment. There was one enjoyable situation, watching a movie, enjoying that movie, cell phone dings in the background. Does it affect your enjoyment of the movie? Well, here's what happens when you get the phone notification versus not. Like, big hit in your enjoyment to this film, right? Another case where you might be enjoying something, particularly for our teens, you're playing Mario Kart, specifically Mario Kart in this study, right? Get a little phone ding in the background. What does that do to your enjoyment of Mario Kart? It's making it go away, right? And a terrible one for all you fans, you're doing a really pleasurable thing for your self-care, getting a massage, phone dings in the background. What happens to your enjoyment of the massage? It's much worse, right? So we need to kind of recognize this. We need to recognize that like these little moments of pulling our attention away are messing with us in ways we don't expect. And what's really the cost of that? We also need to recognize the cost that might be coming to our social engagement by not engaging, right? These are the cases I just talked about before, cases where you're not noticing how great that massage feels or how good the movie is. But what about noticing the thing that your spouse is talking to you about, or that your friend is like trying to tell you, the subtle emotions there? Like, what are we really losing? And one of my favorite studies that shows the power of what we're really losing comes from my colleague Liz Dunn at the University of British Columbia. She does this study where she brings folks into a waiting room and either has their phones present or not. And she looks at an interesting measure of people's social engagement, which is just how much they smile at one another. And here's what she finds. If you look at her data, you look at the total number of smiles. When your phones are out, you basically smile way, way less at other people. Even if you look at the total amount of time you spend smiling, it's way, way less. And we kind of get this, right? When your phone's in your hand, you're just not noticing the other people around you. You don't know if they're making eye contact. You don't notice any of this stuff. But it's genuinely changing our social interaction, and probably it's reducing a lot of the positive parts of our social interaction too. And this is with strangers. I think we have to worry about this even more when it comes to the social connection that we're getting with our family. And this is the kind of thing Liz and her colleagues have studied a little bit too. She looked at what does just having your phone out do for your enjoyment of an activity that you would engage in with your kids. Liz studied this locally at her local science museum. She found families and said either make sure you have your phone, with you out, or make sure you kind of put it in like a locked room so it's not with you. And she just looks at how much enjoyment in these kinds of things that these families show, both in the adults and in the kids. And what she finds is if you look at what they learn in the science museum, much better if you have your phone away. You're going to noticing and attending to more stuff in the museum. If I ask later, how much social connection did you feel? Do you feel closer to your kid and so on? Much more without your phones present. But she does this final measure that I find so kind of painful, which is like, how meaningful is it that you get to have activities like this with your kid, where you get to go out and learn with them? And just not having your phone there anymore, makes those activities in life more meaningful, right? This is what I think we need to remember. It's a thought pattern change we need. Is this stuff isn't just kind of messing with our work or sort of stealing our attention a little bit. It's really hitting on some of the fundamental things we care about, the time and the meaning that we're getting from spending with our kids, and the positive emotion that we engage with other people. We need to think about what we might be losing. Beyond that, we need to help our kids understand what they might be losing too. I think if you have a teen, you can actually share these studies with them. Like, did you know people smile less if they just have their phones around them? Or if you just hear a ding in your background, you're not going to enjoy your video game as much. Given that data, what should we do? How should we kind of come up with boundaries, right? Just recognizing that there's a cost there can be a really important first step to kind of fixing it.